Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney as Dinklage dunks on Disney's dwarves.
Oh, wow. So that 3 times fast.
No, I cannot. I cannot. We're going to talk about Peter Dinklage dunking on Disney because they're going to make Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, he's not dunking on them because, it was problematic that Snow White needed a prince's kiss to wake up.
Yeah, even though that's been the story for years.
The non-consensual kiss. What Dinklage is mad about is the dwarves themselves. He's like, this is kind of an archaic story, and even though the dwarves are beloved heroes in the Disney universe, he thinks it's a problem and they shouldn't be making this movie.
Yeah, but he also said that they lived in caves, and that's not what they lived in the movie. But that's, neither here nor there.
Did you watch the movie?
I don't know.
Is he talking about the original fairy tale?
Maybe.
I don't know.
They worked in the mines, that's a whole other story.
They have a whole ride. Disney's not going to walk this one back. So we're going to talk about this. This is another example of, when you go down the progressive rabbit hole and you try to virtue signal about how progressive you are, you're never progressive enough.
Right. And, and to be fair, there are the dwarves are the majority of the cast in the movie. So wouldn't it make more sense to give the dwarves a more updated story?
There you go.
Than it would, making sure that the princess wasn't white. I mean, there's lots of things you could do. I mean, honestly, the other day, it's all stupid because why the hell they need a live action version of this anyway? There's been 100 live action versions of Snow White.
I thought you said Cinder Virgins. Oh, what is...
There's been so many versions of Snow White that are live action out there. You do not need another one. Slap one of your stupid warning labels on it and say it was from a different time and let it go.
Let it go. That's another movie. So we're gonna talk about this. Disney is not gonna be able to top the original. That being said, it is a product of its time, but it is a perennial favorite. Sorry, Peter, it is. And I do like Peter Dinklage, but
yeah, I mean, and I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from. He's probably like, of all the movies, this is what you're gonna make.
Right, because Disney is very, and I mentioned this, they're being very picky and choosy about what we want diversity and inclusion, but only what we say is diversity and inclusion, which we'll talk about. But before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 254,000 subs. Woo!
Thank you so much for the support. We do talk about Disney, we talk about animation, we talk about Hollywood, and this is coming from piratesandprincesses.net, which is a blog that Geeky oversees with an iron fist.
Nah, I'm not that bad.
And so Peter Dinklage dunking on Disney. I saw it all over the place. There were a lot of other news outlets that covered it. I guess he was on the Mark Maron podcast. Said during his interview on the podcast, the WTF podcast.
Yeah.
That's why
that name wasn't already taken. That was a perfect name.
I know, right? He had comments to make about the choices Disney appears to be making in regards to certain characters, not others. Now, they did make a big deal about Rachel Zegler being announced as Snow White because she's not white. But
again, there are many different shades of people.
Yes.
So I could still see why it would pass, but I get why people are upset both ways.
And then she spent a lot of time on Twitter. Now, this is before
That's what I think more people are mad about now.
Yeah, that was before, she got cast in a Disney movie. But she spent a lot of time on Twitter, spouting off hot takes about politics and attacking people. The drill.
She's the right kind of person.
That's what you're supposed to do in Hollywood now to make sure that everybody knows you're the right kind of person. Didn't help her at the box office very much, though.
No.
So I gotta wonder if West Side Story had bombed before they hired her, would they have hired her?
West Side Story is always going to bomb. It had nothing to do with it, and it was because, and I mean, it did pretty good considering what it was, but it's because it's something that's already been done, and most people don't care about the musicals. They just don't. It wasn't ever going to perform well, and then putting half of it in Spanish, so the people would understand what the hell was going on, probably didn't help either.
Well, that's okay, because eventually we're going to get a live action Encanto, and that'll certainly
we'll give them about 20 years for that one. They have to go through their other catalog.
Oh my God, I can't wait for the live action Oliver and Company. Aren't they doing that one?
Oh no, they said they're doing Aristocats.
Oh, Aristocats! Oh my God, yeah. Have they learned nothing from Cats?
Yeah, it's just stupid. Like no one wants this. Anyway, so yeah, here's what he said. You can go ahead and read it.
He said there's a lot of hypocrisy going on. Literally, no offense to anyone, but I was a little taken aback.
It doesn't matter if you say no offense to anyone. They'll still be offended.
They'll
Trust
still
me,
be
we
offended.
learned this.
I was a little taken aback when they were very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White. But you're still telling the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but then you're still making that fucking backward story about seven dwarfs living in a cave together. What the fuck are you doing? Have I done nothing to advance the cause for my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough. I don't know which studio that is, but they were so proud of it. All love and respect to the actress and all the people who thought they were doing the right thing, but I'm just like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get what he's saying. I mean, here's the problem. When you start saying you're trying to be inclusive and more modern year and all that stuff, current year, you're going to tick off somebody because there's always somebody who you're still offending.
Well, I think that's it. This is the problem with virtue signaling is it's never enough. Because once you put out there that like, yeah, we're really starting to think more about other people and we're really starting to advance, like you're going to chase one group, offend another.
No, I would tell you flat out what Disney's doing. They're really thinking about the people that, are screaming the loudest on social media. So they're acting like they're doing something about it because they want their money. It was Black Lives Matter. It was, LGBTQ community. It was those kind of things, which, I'm not saying they shouldn't listen to people. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is they come up with all this rainbow stuff, not because they're actually trying to make a difference, but because they want your damn money.
Well, Alex Hirsch, it was one of our top videos. We talked about Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls, calling Disney out and saying, "Hey, you've got all this Pride merch, but you're gonna ban certain content in other countries because it offends them."
Well, because that's everything that's other countries.
Yeah.
But what gets me too is that they go too hard in the paint the other way too. It's like they don't meet in the middle where they're just being, telling a good story with good characters that happen to be diverse. They're just like, we're gonna go all in the other way. It doesn't make sense that way either, and they just can't stick the landing. And they always are full of, they're always out there with mouthpiecing it and saying, oh, we're doing all this because of diversity inclusion.
Nah.
We are going to recast people that had voiceovers and attractions with people that are actually, that way or coded that way, which Squid King and I were having a field day with discussion about coding last night, how dumbass that is. And they're going to change everything to make sure that it's representative.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Peter Dinklage is not going to be in Snow White.
I'm guessing not. They haven't said what they're doing about the dwarves in this one.
Oh my God, there'll be CGI.
I don't know what they're going to do. And then is it going to offend people if they take them and make them not dwarfs? Then it's going to offend people because what, dwarfs aren't good enough? They're going to have to do it. Like I would hire people that are, dwarfs, but I would give them I would make it more current year. They
were heroes. The original. I mean, they were hero characters.
Right.
They weren't just,
Okay, here's the thing. One of them should be the prince, and she should hook up with one of them.
There you go.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, but the thing is, at the end of the day, they should not make this at all. Personally,
hot dwarves are hot.
They're hot.
So you've got Dopey, Sleepy, Doc, Six Pack, Tight Ass.
Anyway,
kissy lips.
Maybe they should.
Kissy
I'm
lips
just saying.
dwarf.
Maybe you shouldn't make this at all. First of all, I mean, I think I'd stop now because this one is a literal minefield of potential issues. But it's funny to me because people are bringing us up about Disney is they keep saying one thing and doing another. For example, we did the thing about Louisa and how the animators had to fight. Okay, what's so funny? You thought of another one?
No, I didn't. I was just thinking. Never mind. I don't even remember what I said. So let's not even.
Anyway, you're laughing still, so you do remember what you're going to say. Anyway, so you had people talking about Louisa and how the animators weren't allowed to, they had to fight to get her to be looking like a strong woman because they wanted her to be strong, but still look like a typical skinny Disney princess. And they had to fight for that. But on the other hand, you had Disney making a big deal about when they rethemed the Jungle Cruise to remove Trader Sam. And they were worried about authentically representing the animatronic chimpanzees so no one laughed at them. And you think I'm kidding, and I'm dead serious. And if you go to the article, I linked it. They literally said that I think I have the quote in here. Yeah, here's what they said about the Jungle Cruise retheme. When introducing new elements, even animals, we make sure they're done in a respectful way. We reached out to Dr. Mark Penning and his team at Disney's Animal Kingdom and said, look, we have these chimpanzees that are coming into this new world and we want to have fun with them. How do we make sure it's done in an authentic way for the chimpanzees? We want to have fun, but we're not making fun of the animals. You thought I was kidding. I was serious.
So they're more worried about offending chimpanzees than they are about offending real life dwarfs.
Or how about the fact they replaced the natives with chimpanzee scenes? And then that Trader Sam now at the end, he's not there, and instead it's the lost and found, and he crossed it off and made it his gift shop. So he's literally selling the lost and found
fencing
items.
Them, yeah.
I'm like,
the brown skin Trader Sam.
Right. I'm like, they don't think this damn stuff through, and then they're going on. Oh, they had their 5 keys now, and their 5th key at the parks is diversity and inclusion. But they only worry about that in regards to some people. The problem is, if you make a big deal about this and say that's what you're trying to do, you have to actively be doing it across the board, not just for the topics that matter current day.
Well, that's how you know it's fake, right? But then the flip side of that is you're never going to make everybody happy.
No, there's no way.
There's absolutely no way. So you just got to kind of put stuff out there and try not to deliberately whack the beehive if you're a brand like Disney. But damn it, we're not going to get Underdog 2 now. Because
Why?
Peter Dinklage is very angry.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the best part of that movie.
I don't remember. I saw it, but it's so long ago.
He was in that movie.
I don't even remember.
He was the bad guy.
Was he? I can't even remember.
He was the bad
I think
guy
I watched it once when Squid King was little, and I didn't care.
It's not a good movie, but he was good-ish. About as good as you could be in an Underdog movie.
Yeah. You got to work with what you got. But it's just like, the whole thing is, the other day, they should just not do this at all. But then they're going on about, worrying about people, making sure they're represented, and they treat people fairly. Mm. And the flip side of this is the Abigail Disney documentary came out.
Yeah.
At the Sundance Festival. Now, what's funny to me, the Hollywood Reporter gives it a lot of praise. Mm. It amuses me when I get to this one part. You'll find out why. But they're talking about how when you go to hug the costume characters, there might be somebody underneath that doesn't have health care, can't have enough food, things like that, which is true. It features commentary from 5 of the employees that have worked there for periods ranging from 5 to 47 years. So, I mean, the fact that only doing 5 people does seem like it could be cherry-picked, narrative. But still, we're hearing from a lot of people, it's real concerns. And they're talking about how the income is $15 an hour plus 75 cents overnight, when in Anaheim, the living wage should be $24 an hour. But most places are not going to pay you $24 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, and they got a raise. I mean, they used to pay less than that. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I mean, that's the truth. I mean, Disneyland's in Southern California. It's very expensive, And
they're talking about how Disney company is ground zero for the widening inequality in America. I think any corporation is like this, because you're seeing these CEOs make these ridiculous paychecks when the people that are, at the very bottom are getting very little. And they go on about different things. But I love this part.
Let's highlight this part.
Yeah,
let's highlight this part.
This is the Hollywood Reporter. They were doing a fair job, breaking it down and saying, and they even give it some criticisms. And they were doing a fair job of it. So they get to this part. And then they had to insert agenda in there. The film includes footage of Disney testifying before a congressional committee where she's accused of promoting socialism and Marxism by, no surprise, Republicans. I'm like, oh my God. I can't. You guys are doing so well. You're reporting on it. You were doing good. You're keeping it to the facts. And then you had to go shoving your agenda in there.
Yeah, I think people keep forgetting that Walt Disney did not like commies at all. Walt Disney, actually, there are probably a lot of kinds of people Walt Disney didn't like, but he really didn't like communists.
Right. But then they keep painting this stuff as a black or white thing. Like, well, it was Republicans were questioning her. It's like, meanwhile, people like us are saying, hey, it is there's a lot of disparity. There's a big difference in the wage gap here. Yeah. And, Bob Chapek's making all this money, and I'm not saying that realistically they can pay everybody like $24 an hour at all, because they just probably can't. But, I do think some shady shit goes on. We're not Republicans, but, of course, it's only the Republicans. I'm like, seriously, Hollywood Reporter?
It's the Republicans.
Yeah, I know. Can you do one article where you actually just stick to the facts, not have to go down you push your agenda-driven rabbit hole bullshit?
What they are trying to say, low key, is that the Disney company has always been on the wrong side of history.
Right.
Is what they're trying to low-key say.
They do say that the movie falters because it broadens the scope to examine the increase in economic inequality in America overall. And they said that the film's arguments aren't not that the film's arguments aren't sound. It's just like, according to the asshole-holification of America, because don't you know, unless you're giving these writers, socialism and free healthcare, they're pissed. But they're basically like, but it's kind of very familiar and samey.
What else can you say, really? It's like, if you got to stick to mostly facts, what else can I just love it. It's like the assholification of America.
If you go to any Disney park, you can see the assholification of America.
Go to Twitter, you can see the assholification of
because
America.
you have these super entitled assholes all over the place. And it's just, they took the thread down, but I was on the one pass holder board, and one lady just complaining about kids with bubble wands, okay? Bubble wands, they're cute and all, and I get it. And I have no problem with kids having bubble wands. What I have a problem with is, and this is what the person was complaining about, is when they're blowing bubbles in your face in an enclosed area, or while you're trying to eat, and the bubbles are going all over your overpriced food. And then it's like, watch your kids. And that's what the original poster was comment they were making. Yeah. And then all these people descended upon this person and told them that they were a horrible person because, my little kid can do whatever they want. And sorry that they're having magic, having fun. Maybe you should have fun too. Maybe you shouldn't tell children what they should and shouldn't do. You're a terrible person. Would you rather my kids scream because I told them no? Yes, I'd rather your little brat scream. I think I used the word crotch fruit. I think I'd rather your little crotch fruit scream because they're being told no than be blowing bubbles in people's faces and all over their food. I'm like, I think bubble wands are great when they're not in an enclosed space where people are eating. My daughter had one. She wasn't allowed to use it unless we were someplace where there was no people. Yeah. Because it's rude.
It is
rude. Anyway, they took the thread down. Probably because I said crotch fruit. Who the hell knows? But
you're not allowed to talk about crotch fruit at Disney.
But
That's
I'm like,
not magical.
You wonder why these kids act like entitled assholes at Disney? It's because the parents act like entitled assholes. And I get some of it is because people, when you get to Disney, you're in the Disney bubble and you just aren't thinking. Like, I think a lot of times you're just like worried about your kids having magic and you want to catch all the moments and you're happy. But sometimes you have to remember that there are other people there besides you. And you can't just let your kids do whatever the hell they want because they're your kids. You can't run people over with strollers and hurt other people's children and husbands because you want to make it magical for your children. There's got to be, and that kind of sums up the assholification of America. That applies on a larger scale, but I'm bringing it down to this microcosm of Disney parks.
Yeah, I broke my ribs.
Yeah, because some asshole with a stupid stroller.
My daughter broke her phone. She almost broke her
because of some asshole with a stupid stroller.
Anyway, Peter Dinklage did not run us over with a stroller. So
no. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll get off my soapbox. We were talking about his soapbox. Somebody else said if you're a shorter person, which would apply to him, or people in wheelchairs, you're on the same damn level as these kids getting hit in the face with the bubble wands.
That is true. Peter Dinklage, you should be against bubble wands. That should be part of the...
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, people in wheelchairs were saying it too. They said, we're at the same level. We get hit all the time. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But he's mad about the portrayal of... We don't know what the portrayal is going to be yet, though. We don't know. But, if it wasn't already being addressed, I think Disney's going to take a look at it now.
Hot, sexy dwarves all vying for Snow White's attention. Hey, true story. This is a true story. We're going to go down another rabbit hole here.
This is one heck of a video.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I bought a Japanese RPG, and I can't remember what it was called. It was, I didn't know it was dirty when I bought it.
Oh, no. How old were you?
I was like 18 or 19.
Okay, so you were...
Yeah, I was of age. But I bought it because it was like anime style, and I got it from, back then it was EB, GameStop, and they had it out originally for the TurboGrafx 16. God, I can't remember what that was called off the top of my head. Anyway, so I got it and I took it home. I got the PC version. I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Well, one of the first scenes in the game is Snow White getting gangbanged by the dwarves.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. Now, it didn't show anything, but it was, typical like 16-bit RPG. It showed her face and they're like, I'm going to take a turn. No, I'm going to take a turn.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. So I actually took it back to EB. Because I was so like, what the hell? I did not expect. There wasn't... I mean, they said it was like mature audience, but I was thinking like, because I played Mortal Kombat and stuff. So I was thinking, well, it's violent.
Okay, so if you rip her spine out, that's okay. But...
Yeah, I mean, I was like 18. Yeah, if they ripped her spine out or something, that's totally different. So yeah, I love that because Mortal Kombat, like you can cut a woman in half, you can see her insides, but you can't see her boobs in the new costume. Anyway, so I took it back to EB. I said, hey, yeah, I don't want this game. And they're, what's wrong with it, man? I'm like, well, I didn't know it had rape in it. And I felt like the biggest prude in the world. In retrospect, I'm kind of like, but that was before you could just like look up games on the internet and see what they were. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know. I just thought it was like a Japanese like fantasy star, and it's like a freaking rapey game. Can I trade it in for something else? They let me do it, but the dude looked at me like,
"Wait, you don't like that?
You don't like
you
it?
Gay?"
And he probably took the disc back and just like slipped it in his pocket.
Probably he's like, wait, there's a rapey game?
Yeah. There's a rapey game? Oh my god. Yeah, so that was like, and I don't remember. Somebody's gonna put it in the comments, but it was something drag. They have for TurboGrafx. I'm not gonna Google it right now, but yeah, that starts out with like freaking Snow White getting.
And what does that have to do with anything?
I'm saying it could be a lot worse.
I don't think Disney's good. Okay,
it could be a hell of a lot worse.
Like, where are you going with this?
So much worse. It could be so much worse than just doing another Snow White movie.
You could literally be doing Snow White.
You could literally be doing Snow White. And I just remember that when I was thinking about like hot dwarfs. Snow White and the hot dwarfs. I'm like, oh god, they weren't even hot. They were just like little.
They look like the Disney versions?
No, they were like anime men, like wrinkly anime, like Hypocrisy. Like wrinkly.
No. Ew.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Everybody's gonna go out and buy that game now.
How about Disney just like stop with the live action reboots and remakes for one? Two, Snow White, I think at this point, it's a minefield. I would not even go near that.
It's a minefield.
I would just leave it alone.
Don't touch Snow White.
I would slap, if you're worried about it, slap those warning labels on it and then call it a day. Because it's really what no one wants to see another live action Snow White for one. And two, you're just asking for trouble. You're just asking for trouble.
Why can't they flip the script and Peter Dinklage can be Snow White and there can be like 7 hot ladies that help him?
They could, but they won't.
You know?
I mean, they wouldn't even. They fought Louisa because she was too muscly, and that breaks social norms for women.
See, the way this is going, all these dwarves could be women. They could all be women with shaved heads and blue hair.
There you go.
There you go, Disney.
You're just making this worse. I would stop talking.
Well, let's wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.